Hey, friends and family and friends, how's it going? Let's talk about Joe Bennett. He is an artist at Marvel who apparently made a little oopsie, had a little mistake. He put a little bit of anti-Semitism in his comic, which probably isn't a little oopsie for most people, especially if you are Jewish. Yeah, so this guy, Joe Bennett, he is a Brazilian artist who does the art for, what is it, the Immortal Hulk. And in episode or comic number 43 of this, which is also written by Al Ewing, he has this one panel here that says Cronenberg something, Jewer. And many were quick to point out that this was just completely anti-Semitic. He also had what should be the Star of David. But so yeah, people are like, what's going on, Joe Bennett? What are you doing? I don't know what else is happening in this comic. I don't know if this is supposed to be the Hulk. One article says that this is like Gray Hulk or Joe Fixit. I don't follow the comics of Marvel that closely to begin with, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anyway, Joe went onto Facebook and he did apologize. He basically said, I've been including references to famous horror directors to pay respects to the genre throughout the series. And in Immortal Hulk number 43, I included a nod to David Cronenberg with an N, not an M. The misspellings on the window were an honest but terrible mistake since I was writing backwards. I accidentally spelled both of those words wrong. I have no excuse for how I depicted the Star of David. I failed to understand how this troubling and offensive stereotype, and after listening to you all, I now understand my mistake. This was wrong, offensive, and hurtful in many ways. This is a mistake I must own, and I am sorry to everyone who I hurt by this. I am working with Marvel to correct this, and I am using this lesson to reflect on how I approach my stories and my work. And now Marvel also came out and said that they were going to basically issue refunds or, correct this. Marvel is, what they basically said is Marvel is correcting and reprinting the main and variant editions. Request to return for exchange on Immortal Hulk number 43 with these corrected versions may be made starting today. So they're all backtracking, all trying to fix things. But my issue here is that this isn't Joe Bennett's first foray into making these types of mistakes. For all those who are saying, you can be offended by anything, well, Joe Bennett is a repeat offender, if you may say so. There's a post on Reddit from a user, UBlueXY, who says that, Joe made some comments on a recent picture of She-Hulk, in which he basically laughs in response to someone saying, oh, look, it's Hulk's angry transgender son. Again, could that be dismissed? Maybe. But then there's also a post by a man named Glenn Greenwald, who on Twitter says he is a journalist, co-founder, I believe also in Brazil, in which he got punched in the face by another journalist, and Joe Bennett basically laughed at it. Not only laughed at it, but he also had a post on Facebook, which he since deleted. He said, Augusto Nunez, you effing, and I don't know what CABOCL is, but I'm not going to say it. That slap was mine too. I should have punched you. And then he immediately took that down after received negative repercussions for that. And Marvel fans questioned whether the company would retain him and his team of collaborators, especially being a, defender of physical violence. So, who is Joe Bennett? Why is he still working at Marvel? Who knows? Maybe they really like him. Maybe his art is really good. But at the end of the day, if this was a mistake, how in the world did it get past all of the people that work at Marvel? Because I'm sure with all the money that they have enough money somewhere along the line. I mean, you have one person that commented, of all the people that you have the inker, you have editors, you have, all these people. How did everyone not see and think that this might offend somebody? So what I want to know is, what are your thoughts? What do you think? Was this an honest mistake by like a whole bunch of people? I mean, this made it into folks' hands, a final product that should have been reviewed by a bunch of people, and it made it into their hands. I don't understand how that could happen, especially from Marvel, which it seems has made strides to not offend people, but to actually show inclusive messages in their movies and things like that. So how does this happen on the comic strip? Love to know your thoughts. Of course, I know there will be people on one side that'll say, oh, people get offended by everything. I mean, this was reported on Fox News, and the top comment is, let's see, oh, you do realize that everything in today's new world order is offensive to some group or another. Mistakes and opinions will not be tolerated unless you accept their directives, of course. And mistakes can be tolerated, but for how long? And when it's a completely vertically integrated company, those mistakes should have been caught at some point. So now you got to start thinking, okay, this guy has done things that have kind of seemed shady. how long are they going to keep him around? But I would love to hear you guys, comments and thoughts. Let's have a discussion. I'll see you down below. Peace out.